Hi everyone, Allison from the Protocase team here. Today I'm going to give you a quick tutorial on how to group and ungroup objects in the face editor of Protocase Designer. So being able to group objects in Protocase Designer is a helpful feature for a couple reasons. For one, it can streamline your work. You're able to move a group of objects at the same time rather than move each one individually. But more importantly, grouping objects into a single item allows you to save that group of objects in the cutout library for future use. So let's get started. I'm going to open a new panel in Protocase Designer for the purpose of this tutorial, and then click on Edit Face, and then select the face of the panel that I'd like to customize. Okay, now I'm in the face editor. In Protocase Designer, we classify any item that you place in the face editor as an object. So graphics, cutouts, fasteners would all be considered objects. With our grouping feature, you can make multiple objects into a single group. I'm going to start by making 4 rectangle-shaped cutouts, one to start, and then I'll copy and paste to make 3 more. And now I've placed them where I want them. So let's say I want to move these cutouts. Instead of having to move each one manually on its own, I can instead group them and move them as one. To do that, make sure you're in Move Item mode, which you can find under Tools. Then you either hold down the Shift key and select each cutout, or click and drag your mouse to draw a box around the objects that you want to select. With all of your objects highlighted that you want to group, you can then click on the button called Group in the Properties panel. Now all of those rectangle cutouts are grouped, so I can move them as one. And if for any reason I don't want to group them anymore, I just need to select the group, then click on the button called Ungroup in the Properties panel. So let's say I wanted to edit one or more objects in that group. While I could technically ungroup the set of objects and then make my edits as needed, I actually don't have to do that. You can edit a group of objects really easily. Let me show you how. Let's say I have a group of 3 circle graphics. If I group them, but then decide I want to change the size of the circles or the color, I can click on Edit in the Properties panel to edit that group. So now you can see I've opened the cutout editor. Here I can edit each object individually, such as changing the diameter of the first circle to 0.9 inches. Or I can also select some or all of the objects to change them uniformly, such as changing the color of the circles to green. When I'm done, I click the green check mark to save my changes, and then I return to the face editor. Here you can see that my group of objects remains, but I did make those edits that I wanted to do. As I mentioned at the beginning of this tutorial, one of the most useful things about grouping objects is that you can save the group of objects as a group in your own personal cutout library. To do that, you just need to have your group highlighted, then click on the button labeled Add to Library, which you can find in the Properties panel. Here you can give your group a name and add any other pertinent info that you need. Once you press OK, your group is now saved in your cutout library. To find it, you need to go to Cutout Library in the top menu, and there under your personal library you'll see the group that you just saved. One thing to note, when you've grouped a set of objects, the origin for the group is the origin of the first object that was created in that group. So if you're saving a group as a cutout in the cutout library, you may want to change the origin to make it more useful for later placement. And you can do this by clicking on Edit Item in the cutout library and then adjusting your origin as needed. So that's all there is to grouping and ungrouping objects in Protocase Designer. I hope you found this helpful. Feel free to check out our other video tutorials as well as our wiki. If you have any questions, our team is here to help. You can email us at info@protocasedesigner.com. Thanks for watching and happy designing!